So we had a chance with 27 seconds left in the game, had the lead, and we lost to a Hail Mary attempt. Yeah, that's just the most Bears way to lose possible, but we are here. What is up, guys? Welcome back to So Back Sports, and I'm so back with another video. And this is just more of my perspective. And after a couple hours from the game that just ended, which was horrendous in all accounts, there's a lot to really unpack with this game. But before we get into that, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Really means a lot to the channel. It really helps me create content like this for you guys. So please subscribe and you know say what you want about the Chicago Bears, but the one thing that stays constant, it is our defense. And gotta give credit where credit is due. So let's talk about, the good things so far. The good things that happened in the game, because there are very few of them, but they kind of were a big story in this game as well. The defense, as I mentioned, I have to give them a solid A, or at least A minus for their effort. They single handedly, when I say that, single handedly kept us in this game. And, you know, we have to bring back the fact that, Matty Reflus as a defensive coordinator, outstanding per usual. As a head coach, seems to be a question even in year 3. And, it's not ideal. And again, the talks of him potentially losing his job are well back right now. Shane Waldron, that fourth quarter, I'll give it to you. A little bit, or like at least a half of the fourth quarter, I'll give it to you. Caleb, the only really good thing I would say is that last half of the quarter, along with Shane Waldron, really solid play. You were able to get us the touchdown. You had a really bad game overall, but did what you needed to do at the end to give us a chance to take or steal one. And we had that chance for about 27 seconds. I think. Oh, and DeAndre Swift, hats off to you. Had an incredible game near the end or the second half. I counted for like about, let's check the stat. The stats say they counted for 129 yards, 18 carries, and a touchdown. You got to give your hats off to him. Hats off to DeAndre Swift for single-handedly giving us some semblance of an offense. Yeah, everything else besides that. I mean, Torrey Taylor, thank you again. One thing that Ryan Poles hit on was a punter. He punted a lot this game, and he did really well with doing that. Now let's go to the bad things, because there were a lot of bad things. I think for starters, the offense. Let's start with that, because that's the main issue here. The offense, Caleb Williams did not look good whatsoever in this game. For 3 quarters or 3.5 quarters, did not look good. And as a Bears fan, as a Caleb fan, I'll admit that. He did not look good. Danny Daniels looked like the better quarterback and is right now the clear rookie of the year. No doubt about it. It's pretty straightforward, if you ask me, because if anything, this was the game to really decide who was going to win that rookie of the year. And it seems like Jaden Daniels is just going to run away with it. I predicted, or I had a video, I'll probably link it up in the top, but saying that the rookie of the year is a lot closer. Not anymore. That ship has sailed. And you got to really think, to put your rookie quarterback in the best situation possible, that there will be some semblance of an offensive mind, like Shane Waldron, calling good plays as well. You had instances where you handed off to your offensive lineman or your fullback for a 1 yard gain, just for them to fumble it into the end zone for a turnover. Caleb didn't have any interceptions this game, but he overthrew a lot. I couldn't watch it past the third quarter because of how bad it was. I didn't tune back in. I went back and checked the tape. I checked everything. After we did the post-game reaction, kind of took some time to think about it. And this is not going to cut it. So far, Matt Eberflus as a head coach is 3-17 or something. I heard some stat like that. 3-17 as a head coach away or against. I think it's away. I'm pretty sure it's away. We have not won a single away game this season. All our away games have been losses. So if you put 2 and 2 together, if we go undefeated at home, which is probably about 8 games, like we're going to be 8-9 if that's the case. I doubt it, but that's just how it just coming out to be. It's disappointing because, you know, got to give credit where credit is due. Jaden Daniels, Washington Commanders, you proved us wrong this time. I'm not saying that I'm out on Caleb or anything because I'm clearly not. I'm just saying there's a lot to be fixed with the offense. Waldron, as offensive coordinator, has to be better when it comes to play calling because we're going to be facing opponents like this that are like, listen, this game defensively for the Commanders was not that difficult. They didn't have a top 5 defense. They didn't have top 10 defense. They outcoached us because they have Dan Quinn on the other side. And yet our offense wasn't able to do anything or was incapable of converting third downs against this defense. That's unacceptable. You're going to be facing a gauntlet going into week 11 against the Packers, Detroit Lions, Minnesota Vikings, 49ers, Seattle Seahawks. The schedule is not getting any easier, and we're still having the same issues. It's not going to cut it. You have to make some kind of move, or you have to do something to change. And let's talk about Tyreek Stevenson's boneheadedness near the end of the game, where he's taunting the fans while a Hail Mary was happening, not getting into position and taunting the fans. That's just unacceptable. Genuinely pathetic and unacceptable. You got to be better. And at this point, if you have to be held accountable, suspend them for a game. You can't allow that. If you're a competent franchise, you cannot allow that behavior to happen, especially in a crucial moment like that. Jaquan Brisker and Kyler Gordon were out, and he was up next, and he needed to show out, and he didn't. He didn't tap it down. He tapped it up, went to Noah Brown, secured it for a touchdown to walk it off for the Washington Commanders. The one more thing too, the Commanders offense did not do that great this season. Like, yes, they had 326 yards for Jaden Daniels and 1 touchdown. That touchdown was a Hail Mary. And there was no touchdowns for the wide receivers. Yes, there was a lot of like called out, called back. The defense was bailed all the time. A lot in this game. I'll admit it, they were bailed, but they played hardball and were able to allow us to even have a lead for a second, for 27 seconds. And this is what this is what we said to essentially thank them. We need to play better, man. Like, this is just genuinely unacceptable. Shane Waldron, the offensive coordinator, has to call better games. You can't just keep calling great plays for only bad teams. You have to call it for good teams too. Offensive line, atrocious, has to play better. Caleb Williams, mainly. Like, I can blame the offensive coordinator all I want. I can blame the offensive staff. At the end of the day, Caleb Williams as well has to be held accountable too. He did not play good. He made up for it near the end, but it has to be a complete game. Yeah, I mean, there's really not much else to say because that was just, by all means, it was genuinely a beatdown in a sense. Let me just show you some stats real quick because to show you what level of a beatdown it really was. Let me zoom it in for a bit. 481 total yards to 307. A lot of the yards came in the fourth quarter, the second half. 111 passing yards, not good. Rushing yards, 196. All right, we outplayed them in that one aspect. Yards per play, 5 for 1. It was bad earlier. 2 for 12 on third down. 2 for 12, as Quiz Capilot would say, February 12th. Insane. Not like the Commanders was any better, but if you want to beat good teams, you have to be able to convert on third down. Fumbles lost, interceptions, no interceptions at least. Time of possession, it was close because they kept getting the ball back and forth. This is a wake up call. If anything, the what was the game? The Indianapolis Colts was a wake up call. That's a winnable game. Like, if you look at all the games we lost, Texans, winnable game, had one chance at the end to drive the ball down the field and win. Did not do that. Following that, we went to the Colts. Did not win that either. We had a chance. Did not win that. Now with the Commanders, where we had the expectations to win after winning 3 in a row, fall to that too. And yes, Commanders fans have a right now to, make fun of us because we did not come to play and they eventually won. And, you got to give credit where credit's due. Right now, they're, competitive. They're going to probably make a playoff push. And if we want to be like them, If we want to make a playoff push, we have to make big changes now, which I doubt we're going to do because we haven't done that before. As a franchise, we love to stay in mediocrity. We just like, do the minimum, but that's just not going to cut it, especially nowadays with how good the NFC is starting to get, with how good the AFC already is. If you want to win a Super Bowl, you got to really lock in. But this is literally me after 3 hours away from the game, But it's just rough, man. Yeah, these are just some of my thoughts. You know, let me know down in the comments below. I'm kind of already down from all the Chicago teams losing, my college football team losing. Yeah. But listen, things can get better. I'm not saying that Caleb is not going to be good or anything like that. I'm not saying that this offense can change, but it's not looking good so far. Caleb has to improve. He really does. He needs to be on time because it's week 8 now. It's about to be week 9. We can't have those same overthrowing problems again. At some point, you have to start hitting those. I know your offensive line is banged up. I know it's not the play performing the best, but it has to. Something has to be figured out. Chris Morgan, Shane Waldron, Matt Eberflus, Ryan Poles, you're all on the clock. And you got to make changes because this schedule is not getting any easier. But let me know down in the comments below what you guys think. You know, any thoughts and, reactions to that game. I'd love to read them down in the comments below. I know the energy is kind of down a little bit, but yeah, that's just how it is for in Chicago, I guess. But I guess that's about it. This has been So Back Sports. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Helps with the algorithm and helps me create content like this for you guys. And I'll see you guys in the next one.